Hi there. In today's episode we're going to tackle the front chrome. Yeah, well, there's really only one corner that's bad, but I think I'm going to go ahead and replace the whole thing, and this is how it goes. All right, that's a nasty hole. It's a little unusual. Usually they rust right out at the front here, everywhere, right at the corner. When you take a look at this one, for instance, that's exactly what happened there. That corner is in good shape, but here is really nasty. I think that's only the chrome that's left and nothing else. So anyhow, that's what this episode is all about. First thing to do is you have to take the license plate holder off, and this is the screw that holds the outside temp indicator that goes to the dashboard, to the instrument cluster. So we need to loosen that, take this off, and then it's much like in the back, a couple of big screws right up in there. There you go. These two, and there's one somewhere behind there on the other side that obviously I can get to. So I'm going to take that loose, and then we can slide off the bumper. All right. Yes, where the third bolts are for the bumper. Those are going to come loose in a moment. And now we're going to take the temperature sensor off. There you go. See, there it is. Screw back so we don't lose it. Feed that back through here. All right. So, and now we are going to take off the screws that are right there and right there. You get the idea. And the same with the other two on each side underneath. All right, here's the new bumper chrome. Well, new to me anyway. Sometimes you are lucky and you get really good pieces. Like this one is in absolute fabulous shape. And now we take the bumper off. Hopefully it will come. There you go. That was easy. And yeah, now we're going to put this bad boy up on here to be able to work on it. Oh. Actually, the car is in really good condition. It's just something it's going on. That holder is in place. This is the bracket that holds the rear bumper in place. And that one is stuck on that side, so there's something going on here. We'll have to figure out. And you can, and we need to make sure that we salvage however we can these screws to the extent possible. So I usually try to clean the threads as good as well as possible right from the get-go, because any dirt, rust that's stuck in the threads makes it even more difficult to loosen these, and can't afford to mess this up too bad. So these all have to come off. Let's see if we are lucking out. One side I already did. It's not for the faint of heart. And here's another one that it's going to be awfully difficult to loosen up. I'm going to give that some more time to soak in, and because it's in the plastic I can't warm this up. And here are the other ones that this legend monkeyed around with already. Why they're loose, we're going to find out. But these have to come off in order for us to get to the screws up front. And anyway, there's some that I don't know what the heck that happened there. They don't appear to be broken. We'll need to get into that in a moment. Not fun. Not fun at all. Well, and in typical luck, I'm going to have to zip that one off. That one came off. There's one that I was able to wiggle out. This one is rotating. The cage nut is spinning because it's in a bad spot. These all spun. Same there, all the way back to here. So what I'm going to do is, already did do that. I bent these up so I can get in there and spray some WD-40 in there to help loosen it up, and see that I can hopefully salvage the majority of this chrome. Not fun at all. So yeah, let's see. I think we're gonna do this one next here. Unfortunately no other way than to bend this up a little bit. That's something we can bend back. There you go. Sure that I'll be super successful in putting some of the WD-40 back there, but it's not going to be for the lack of trying. What the heck happened here? All right. That explains why they were all loose. Somebody tried to take these off before me. I don't think they were really super successful with that. And the only other thing that I know how to do is wedge this in there to get the cage nut settled again, and then seeing if this will come loose. If not, we're just going to go ahead and zip that off. Can't tell if I'm having any luck. It does look like it is coming loose. It is These little screws turn in a 10-minute job into a 2-hour event. Appears to come loose. Well, let's see what we can do with of course, can't get in there. God. It is, however, ooh. Don't like the sound of that. But I think we're going to be able to save this cage nut after all. There you go. It's coming out. Wow. Saved it. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more of these fun ones. I'll see you later, guys. Out of the 7, I busted 1. Some of them don't even look so bad yet. And of course, I need to also take this bracket off because there is another screw right in the corner here, and you will not be able to get to that without taking those brackets off. So that's next. Let's see how that goes. So far, just about everything has been fighting me. Let's see, where's the screw? And of course, this does not fit there. Let's see. God. Everything. The smaller the screw, the more trouble these are. So you see what that is. I'm gonna have to get a better handle on this. I'm gonna have to have a vice grip. But, oh my God, that one is on there. Unfortunately, let's see. Oh my God. There we go. That was easy. Oh yeah. Yeah. All right. See? Those son of a guns. There it is. It's snuck in another little screw there. And let's see if I can get more of the WD-40 in there. All right. That's that. Let's see. Oh man. Yep. That is going to be fun. loosening that one up because it's also directly in a corner. Right? Wow. I don't believe it. That's pretty amazing. I would have never thought that that would happen. And then, unfortunately, you sometimes have to... Huh? No, I guess not. Still keep on going. I'm gonna try to do this as long as I can. There you go. Come on, baby. I'll be back once I have it out. The moment of truth has come. I've got all the fasteners off. Only one more that I busted over on that corner. Let's see if I can salvage those, but the next thing is going to be taking the chrome off. Let's see. In a way, I'm not looking forward to the ugliness of it. Maybe I need to put the camera right here so you'll see how that's gonna go. I've got everything loose. Oh, there you go. All right. Moment of revelation. Not great, but it's not super bad either. Here, another screw. Cage nut. Let's see where all of these went. That's one. Now that is the one that's really bad. That's rusted through. But anyway, yeah. Make sure you get, as one that busted, make sure you get these either brand new or try to salvage as many as you can. It's not pretty trying to get these back in. So we're going to clean the rest up. Oh, here's one more. That's the one that's busted. Clean this up, and in a moment we're also going to do a bumper repair. There's one section on the lower bumper where it's not looking so hot, but anyway, wow. So that's that. All right, and pretty, but fortunately that's plastic. Oh, here's another cage nut. Yeah, yes, I think there's another one. Yeah, we're going to take all of that off just to make sure that this is all still okay. This is composite material, so if it's cracked, unfortunately, it means you're going to have to somehow replace it, which I would suppose is not really that easy. Later on, we're going to go down and see. is the crack in the bumper. We're going to fix that in a moment. That's the crack that I'm going to fix next. Oof. Let's see. Be careful. And now we're going to focus on how the heck we're going to fix this. There we go. There we go. Focus in on that one. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this weld gun here with these clips, and they heat up. And I'm going to be back in a moment. Alright, so here we go. This heats the coil up, and of course you don't want to go in too deep. But you get the idea. You let that cool down. Next, there goes the next one. I usually like to go behind the surface to see how hot this is getting. If it's too uncomfortable for my fingers, it's most likely going to peek through soon. So let's not do that. Once you have them in place and they're hardened, you take these little snips and they are of course on there. Let's see. I need to get bigger ones because these ones are not the right thing. Another one. And it looks like I need to go a little bit deeper. There you go. There we go. That's better. Cool. All right, next. There we go. Nope. That one deep enough? Yep. You get the idea. All the way until we come in here. And this one we're going to try to bend back. I'm going to let that harden some more, and I'll be back. All right. Let's see. Right, so here a little bit of grinding. Almost flush. And from the outside, I think that's about as good as this is gonna get. I'm gonna leave it be because whoever fixed this bad boy, there are all kinds of blemishes on the bumper, so that's going to throw a future respray. All right, morning after, got everything cleaned up. That turned out pretty well, I have to say. Holds, it's nice and strong. That's cleaned up. Here's the new chrome. I'm gonna insert those bloody clips here in a moment. This chrome didn't come with any, unfortunately. And even if it does, I did one where they were included, but the clips did not. They're supposed to have these funky bent over clips that, or the portion of the clip that is supposed to go into these little holes, and then it holds the nuts in place. I got news for you, that it just doesn't work. At least the old stuff, it just doesn't want to work. All right, so now I'm going to put the clips in, and then we're going to do some rust proofing. We're going to leave these somewhat loose so that we can nudge it around. There's a hole here that lets us tighten it once we're done. So same here on this side. Clips are going in there. This spot in the center is the only one where I used one of the original clips, because there's nothing for the those other M6 clips to hold on to. It's not really a hole. I'm going to leave the ones at the edges alone, because those ones are easily accessible, and most likely I'm going to use the original ones. They just fit better there. So that's that. And since I have such a nice chrome, I'd like to keep it that way. Ways of using this at one of the places I work. This SP400 from CRC is excellent. It's an excellent rust protector. Get the corners, because this is where the rust starts, and not a good thing. So this dries. It's kind of like almost like a wax, has a wax-like consistency. And yeah, I want to keep it very nice. So once I'm done, we're ready to install it. All right, another tip. Start in the middle and make sure that those holes are centered. I usually take Sharpie and mark where the dead center is, because this does get jostled around quite a bit, and then once you lose track, it's not that easy to get back to it. So now I'm gonna take this beauty, I'm gonna put it in here. supposed to be there. So now we're gonna attempt, and I mean it, attempt. Sometimes it's just actually necessary for you to I knew it. Not quite. Just a smidge. All right. A little mirror helps. I know, just would remember with the bloody screw. Yep, and that is why this is such a nuisance job, trying to get the first one started. Takes sometimes a good amount of tries trying to get this thing started. Let's see. Wrenches certainly help. You get the idea. It's really essential that I got the first one started because I need for that to be dead center, and the rest follows after this one. All right. That one is not going anywhere. So now we're gonna, and see, this is opening up, and then we need to get this one in. It pulls us. I got new ones, all metric, other new hardware. These four right here, right next to the center, you can only use really short ones because otherwise they're going to peek through the back, which is not good because they're going to go right through the chrome. So I'm going to put in the short ones next and then work my way out. Next, I am going to get the screws into here to nudge that along. There's that one. And like I said, they're metric M6s. Also, the ones, the 4 or 5 right there, M6 by 25 is the best size. You can take M6 by 30 on the edges and it won't matter much. All right, I've got all of these started. This one I got tightened enough, so is that one. And now I can finish tightening all of these down. Don't overdo it. After tight comes off, especially with those sheet metal inserts. You get the idea. I would have also not believed that you can do it with regular M6 cage nuts and regular screws. Then final step, we're going to bend these over because you want this as flat as possible to it, because otherwise this is not going to sit flat and nice and even under the headlights. For that I'm using a piece of you'll see. I don't want to. There we go. This should not go down much when you push on it. And that is that. Rinse and repeat for all of these, and we're good to go. Now to the finishing touch. I'm going to make sure that this is nicely aligned, which it is. And if it is, we can now go in and tighten this bolt in here. All right, now we're going to put the bracket in here, next bracket down in here, and yeah, and it's almost time for reassembly the cleanup. Here I cleaned these up, gave them a new coat of paint, 2 screws in there, lined this closer in parallel to the bumper, put new hardware on these. Then I'm gonna now we'll tighten, and then it's finally installation time. So these are tightened up. We're ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna put a little bit of the anti-seize or never seize on here so they don't come off, or they will come off easier next time, and it's installation time. All right. far so good. Here's one. Where's the other one? Not in there. Almost. Ooh. I see what's happening. It is the small retainers, the guides actually, that need to be adjusted. Locked up in there. I'm just going to take that thing off and then put them on, because I need to gap this right in anyway. There you go, number one. And yep, we'll take that one off too. Much easier to install without these. All right, let's put the nuts in place, and then we are good to go to put the slide guides back in. All right, now it's time to make sure that the gap is nice and even. In this case, it needs to close up compared to on that side. Right. About even. This needs to come up maybe just a smidge. And then we're going to make sure that the slide guides on the side are where they need to be. And then we're tightening the two bumper screws. Yeah. All right, nice even gap. And now it needs to be closed a bit. Loosen this up first. tightening the rest up. Nice gap all the way around. Clean up the chrome. And that's another job well done. Well, about as well as I can do it anyway. Alright. Alright, we're ready for some cleaning of the chrome. Don't know what your favorite go-to is. Mine is Nevada. It's watered up in there, and it does a wonderful job. Even with, if you have a bumper that has some rust, it does clean it up fabulously. It does one absolute wonderful job. It is, I don't know where the heck it came from, who makes it, but for old car enthusiasts, and you're having some sort of chrome surface anywhere, it is essential of having. It can restore even severe corroded ones, and well, severe, I guess it's I don't know what you call severe, but short of rusting through, if there is surface rust on there, that's really more what I mean. Let that dry just for a sec, and then take a cloth, and I'm not sure if you can see it. It does an absolute fabulous job. You get the idea, right? So, this classic Benz finally shines. Obviously, it never hurts to start out with great chrome, but that's just absolutely fabulous. Nice fit all the way around. The finishing touch will be that. One little tip: you can use a piece of rubber tube for the slide guide there. You can see that I wrapped it around. Actually glued the ends together, but that's a small little tip because you might have noticed that there used to be rubber there too. It doesn't make metal to metal contact. That was what was missing for the finishing touch. Nice chrome plated or nickel plated license plate stand-in, since in Pennsylvania we don't have to have one up front. And well, this is it for today. Keep the old classics on the road, and until next time.